how it feels to chew 5 gum. Stimulate your senses.
Hello and welcome, Whole of England here, and welcome to another user replay. Now, today this is from the user DrSkyrim. However, long-time viewers of the channel will probably know him as Martin, as he's just had a bit of a name change recently. And today he's playing in the Audacious, which is the Tier 10 British carrier. Now, as you can probably tell by the title, this is going to be a very close game, as it's just a fact of it doesn't matter how far it looks like you're going to win. There is always that small chance you could lose, no matter what are the odds and how well you're actually winning, which you will see later on in the game, just for the fact of how how much of an actual advantage the team has. But I won't say anything else to really spoil it. So currently, what he's doing, he's just going around and really spotting these ships for the team, so they've got a bit of information of where everyone is, as well as getting a few shots on some of the ships with his initial rocket planes and just getting a little bit of initial damage. So I managed to get a nice little strike on the Shimakaze, and now is going on for a second strike onto the Thunderer, and just gets those in. Yeah, nice few hits, 7 hits there, and manages to get his damage up to 7k. And the next is going to be in the high explosive bombers. So just really, this game is going to be a factor. I mean, you know, with DrSkyrim's actual performance here, it is incredibly good, as you'll probably see by the end score, the end results screen. However, you know, it's just really a fact of it's just going to be going for as many drops as possible, and it's just really a battle of attrition compared to the enemy carrier as to what they can do, and just to really help decide the actual fate of the game. So he's just going back over here just with his bombers just to see who he can go for, so he's going to want to be going for more bigger targets. So at the moment you can currently see in the top of the map we've got the Yamato, the Thunderer, as well as the Hindenburg, which are going to be the main targets for him in these, as they're going to be somewhat slower. I mean, the Hindenburg is going to be a lot quicker, but I mean, apart from that, the other two are going to be sort of easy targets. And you can currently see the Shimakaze is currently attacking the other Shimakaze, and he's got the initial hits here, as well as that gearing is stopping the cap on the D. However, he has got bombers on him, and yep, does just get taken out, so that does actually start the game for a loss for the friendly team. So as well as that, there are 2 Shimakaze on the other side as well, so it's basically a mirror image here, and most of the ships that are on this side of the map, they're all currently near A, and there are a few also near C, and they're a lot more grouped up than the enemy team are. As you can currently see, there's sort of a 2-side split here, so it is looking like they're a bit more diversified here on the enemy side, and you can currently see now Skyrim's going in for a drop on the Thunderer. So it isn't the sort of best angle to be going for, as it is more of a side shot, but to still manage to get another 4 hits there and get a good amount of damage. I think it was like a 7k drop there, which is quite good. And then just coming in for a really long one, and this is actually the drop that you saw in the intro. Oh, very good. He starts off with 15k here, so goes for the Thunderer there. As you can see, those very well aimed. The camera's a bit odd there, so you can't really see it entirely, but 15 all the way up to 52, as well as gets 5 fires. He only one gets a non-pen. 13 HE bomb hits, which is ridiculous. So that Thunderer, he's not got the Conqueror, super heal, which means he's gonna have a problem with that, because a lot of that. I mean, yeah, he's gonna be able to heal up, but it's not as fast and not really just the same amount as the Conqueror can. Which is, I guess, the one downside of the Thunderer compared to the Conqueror is the fact of it's got the better fire chance, but at the same time the Conqueror has got the super heal, which really does make that an incredibly good ship. Now, I think if I have to give any feedback to this game, it's probably just I wish you go for destroyers just a little bit more than you currently do. So I mean, you do go through them a few times this game. I mean, obviously you went for the that shimmer at the start, and as well as later on you'll see a few drops. But I mean, just especially when it really counts, it'll be really good if you did go for some of the destroyers when you've got a choice to. I mean, obviously you're using torpedo bombers at the moment, so it doesn't matter, but at the same time as well, one thing I do want to note is probably a good thing to say is a lot of this, though, is based entirely on hindsight. So I do really have the benefit of, obviously watching the replay, so I'm in a different sort of state of mind. I'm in more of a analytical, I can see what's going on, so at the same time I can't judge as much for the fact of any choices there are in a game, just for the fact of, because you're playing it and you're in a different headspace. I'm just more going, I should have done that. At the end of the day, everyone is a general after the battle. Oh, I should probably have my phone away from where my microphone is. Sorry about that. And yeah, he does manage to get a nice initial 3 torpedo hits, gets a few more shots in, and I think those ones, I think the first 2 were just within the ship for the arming time, but the rear one, yeah, there we go, manages to get another hit. But I mean, he has already got a flooding, unfortunately the daring torpedoes don't actually do anything there. But even so, he's still got 2 planes, and as you probably saw by his build as well, he's gone for primarily a, I guess, survivor build here. In the sense of his planes have got a load of HP, meaning so even if they do take a load of flak damage, they're not immediately going to get completely wiped out, just the fact of HP they've got. And now he's going back for the actual bombers here. Now in terms of destroyers, the Daring is currently hunting down the Shimakaze, so unfortunately their enemy Shimakaze did manage to take out ours. So it's a fact of now it's up to the Daring to really take him out. But at the end of the day, the Daring is a gunboat, the Shimakaze is a torpedo boat, so you know, pretty simple there. You can really guess who's actually going to win that engagement. It's just going to be depends how fast it takes. So you see the Daring is currently taking a bit of a turn out to start kiting away, whilst the Shim is probably dropping torpedoes and maybe getting a few shots off as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, the Daring is an incredibly powerful gunboat from what I've seen, and should probably make short work of the Shimakaze. Yeah, you can see him kiting away now, so he's definitely going to be getting some shots over. And the Yamato has just been taken out, so it's now just a fact of going for that Hindenburg and the Thunder at the top of the map, but the Burgoyne is also coming in too. Now, the one thing you currently see is the friendly ships are really just on one side of the map here, pretty much entirely, in this one area near A, whereas over on the other side of the map you can certainly see they're still very spread apart, which really isn't a good thing to do regardless of what tier you're playing, because you don't want to be in a position where you can easily be, I guess, just outmaneuvered because they're going to be able to hit you from many sides, whereas you've not really got many advantageous angles. And I guess a drop in the Hindenburg, unfortunately not the best angle to be shooting at, but at the end of the day, you know, short notice, that's yeah, managed to get a hit, so at the end of the day he's got a hit there. So as long as you're taking HP off the enemies, that's the main thing you want to do in these games. And okay, so now going for the Thunderer here, who is giving him a really, really good angle here, which is good. There we go, so yep, gives him enough lead there, and you can see all of these bombs are now coming in. Dropping, manages to get a 6-bomb drop, and another 2 fires there, getting his total fires up to 4, which have all been on that single Thunderer, which actually brings his damage up to 110k, which is really good now. Yeah, here is probably the first occasion where I'd say it would be really good if you went for this Hariguma, because at the moment you can currently see he's contesting the sea cap, and this will be important later on in the game. As you know, he's currently contesting it. You've got all these battleships there, and let's be honest, you're not going to really want to be going into push that Hariguma, because I mean, even just the rate of fire of that thing, you know, if he's got a spotting, he can make absolute mincemeat of these battleships just for the fact of, you know, you can just go for the superstructure, get fires, and that's it. There's nothing you can really do in return, because yeah, you can get some of the shots in the smokes, but apart from that, it's just the fact of you're just going to be a sitting duck. So it's just the fact you've got to get away with it. You know, got to get away from that, and it's just the fact of really the only ship in this situation that can do anything is the Venezia, as well as the actual carrier here, which would obviously need to get rocket planes, get some spotting where everyone else that's there can actually get a shot, and then they'd be able to really keep the sea cap, because the only thing there is that destroyer that's really keeping the cap. I mean, yeah, he's going for this Republic here, and hopefully gets a few shots on it, and yeah, probably going in for it goes in for this Z52 as well, Tony Schracker. And yeah, there we go, just aiming in now, hopefully gets a hit maybe. I mean, he's going, there we go, yeah, goes in. I mean, he's leading it enough, so hopefully he will get a hit, and also gets 2 target hits onto the Republic. But I mean, yeah, instead here, I really would have gone for the actual rocket planes just to really go for the Hariguma, because yeah, they do have fighters above them, but I mean, if you drop your own, that should keep them busy really, and also he did drop them quite a while ago, so it'll just be a fact of, yeah, actually I think they're about to go and leave now. We'll see them going around, but yeah, I mean, even if he had HE bombs, it's just spotting at this point he's really need. Yeah, there he is, so he's got 13,000 HP and the fighter away, so it'd be really good if he could just go there, drop some fighters, and just generally keep them spotted, just for the Venezia, which is pretty much the best suited here to take him out, as well as the Kremlin. So I mean, it's just a fact of, yeah, he really needs to go over there, but unfortunately the Hariguma is now getting more fighter support, and there's nothing that can really be done. Now, the Republic is about to be taken out there, yeah, 400 HP, which is good. So now it's just the Worcester, the Thunderer, as well as the enemy Midway, and then the rest of them are on the further left side of the map. But you can see the rest of the team, they've seen the Hariguma, and they're like elephants with a mouse, as they have all run away, all of them going into A for some reason. which honestly I don't understand why they're doing that, because it'd be better if they went a bit wider or just generally pushed. I mean, if they were going all the way up north and just to push to try and get the B cap, take everyone out, fair enough, but they're being really, really slow about it. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing in this position, and yeah, honestly, it's just really not the best situation here. But I mean, obviously, yeah, we've got Skyrim currently going in for another drop on this Tundra. More HE bombs just on top. All pretty well aimed. Yep, managed to get 3 hits and another 2 fires there, getting his damage up to 145k now, which is very good indeed. Rocket planes, yeah. So this is where I'm like, okay, cool. Because I did think he was going to go for the Haragumo, but I don't think he does. I was like, oh, right, okay. And yeah, you just saw there are more shots coming in. So even though the Veneti is currently getting the cap, unfortunately he is getting somewhat constantly reset, as well as the Kremlin's also getting hit, meaning they're both somewhat low HP, and there's no real way they're going to be able to actually get this cap, because they're constantly being reset. And you can see the Haragumo's there. I was like, he really needs to go in and try and hit this guy just to at least keep him spotted, and then they can actually get the C cap. You can currently see it's being reset again, and then the bombers come in, reset it once again. And it is only just really, I guess, letting the enemy consolidate their points more. Whilst like look at this in the A point here. Like this, the problem with this is the team. Is they've all unanimously decided, hey, let's just go in one single area. That's going to be a great idea. Like, if I was a Benham, I would be loving this now. Just keep on dropping. Like, you would have to be trying to miss at this point to not get any hits, because they're in such a small area with like a load of bottlenecks here. All those entrances there. It's just the destroyer's heaven. I mean, obviously you've got the Z52 there, so that's going to be their worst issue here, because it's just the fact if he's going to be able to drop torpedoes in. But at the same time, Shima's dropping torpedoes towards the Burgoyne and the Z52, which are going to be the only thing stopping them getting out of the north. But from the south, there's nothing really stopping them. The Haragumo is the other side of the map, and honestly, they really need to get the C point, because since we were talking about the points difference before with the amount of ships, the friendly team, we've only lost 2 ships. The enemies, they've also lost 2 destroyers, but they've lost 2 battleships and a cruiser, which should mean that there should be a much greater difference in points. But because they've got 3 caps pretty much here, like at the moment the friendly team's earning from 1, the enemy team is earning from 2, and they're stopping the 3rd, meaning they're constantly going to be getting an advantage on points. So even though they're losing on ships, I mean, they've just lost another one there. They've only got 1 destroyer, which is the Z52. It's just a fact of how on earth are they letting this happen? And the Republic takes out the Burgoyne, but unfortunately the Sheena does take out the Kremlin that's on A, because he was getting taken down by the Haragumo, which is probably, as I say, the only one bit of feedback here is just the fact of just go for the destroyers, man. Go for the destroyers. I mean, obviously that's not going to be a problem, because you can already see the torpedoes going in towards that Z52 at the moment, which is the enemy's last destroyer, whereas the friendly's got 2 here, which are going to be quite useful. And then, yeah, there you go, Shimakaze gets the Z52, so now they've not got any DDs to worry about. The only thing left is the Yoshina, who was left on a very low amount of HP, meaning they can all start pushing out very, very easily now, because there we go, 2000 HP. I mean, Skyrim's coming in for a drop, and as well as that, you've got the team which are also going to be shooting this guy too. I mean, yeah, you can see shots coming in now, 2k, 1700, and then a final shot from the Republic finishing him. So that's them pretty much safe, and they can get the B cap basically without any real resistance. Yeah, there's a Thunder and a Worcester. That's it. Like, they have got now 3 times as many of the ships on the friendly team as they do the enemy. Okay, not anymore, but there's 2 of them just got taken out. But even so, all they need to do is go and push. I mean, now they've got a lot of stuff, that are going to be, I guess, holding the B cap, but at the same time, they could go for the C cap instead, because no one's really going to be covering that. I mean, Thunder may get shots over, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter, because there is still more than double the amount of ships here, which is like, there is no real way they could really lose this, right? Because they've got so many ships, they can just go and get the caps and just win it. It should be in the bag really at this point. It's pretty ridiculous. And so you can see now he's Skyrim's now starting to turn to go into the C cap, which is a very good idea. He's got a load of HP. There's no destroyers to actually take him out, so it's just a fact of going to the C point, get that, whilst the friendly team, all of them, they can go into the B point. At that point, it's just a fact of, well, they can secure the amount of caps they've got, get an advantage on points again, and then just knock everyone out. Because, as you just probably heard then, there are only 5 minutes left to this game. Now, yep, there we go. Worcester's over there. He's got half his HP, and then we're going to see the Thunder at the moment. He's also got around half his HP, meaning that, you know, they're at a pretty severe disadvantage here as well. You know, it's not only that they've not got many ships, they've not got many ships with much health. So, I mean, with all these ships that can really focus fire, I mean, you've got the Yamato. If he is, and he probably is running Deadeye, because at the moment, I mean, if you're watching this quite far in the future, after the Deadeye skill's been changed, I mean, it may change, but this is when it just came out, so it's going to have the 10% bonus you get. So, at the moment, he's going to be able to get some very accurate shots in, meaning, you know, if he's got any shots on the Worcester or the Thunderer, then it's going to be very, very beneficial for him. Yeah, there we go. The Thunderer's just had half his current HP taken out, so he's now left with a quarter. And I don't know about the Worcester, but overall, that's just you know, very bad news for the enemy team. Now, yep, you can see Skyrim's coming in with his Audacious into the C cap, the Republic's going into the B cap. They're going to be able to block it, but now, just for the fact of how long they waited in the A cap, and they're going one by one as well. They're just going in like a little sort of lemming train there, just going into B slowly, like, oh, yep, hello, we're just going to go and take this from you now. The problem is they've left it too late. I mean, so far, Skyrim has performed amazingly, really. I mean, apart from the destroyers there, he's done 171,000 damage here. You know, that's no small amount of damage, even in the carrier. That is no small amount of damage. That is incredibly good at this tier. And he's coming in, probably going to be able to get a very good drop, because he's got a Thunder, which is currently sideways, and he's just got the Worcester as well. I mean, the Worcester does have very good AA, and if you spec it for AA, it can really, really mess up your squadrons, but he's got the Thunder on his side. Yeah, there we go. Gets a pretty much 6k hit on his side there, leaving him with basically nothing. And can now probably go with torpedo bombers, I'm guessing, or HE bombers, regardless of whatever. But yep, he's now going into the C cap soon. But you can go see, because they've spent so much time trying to get these points, look at that. They now have almost a, oh, I think that's, yeah, that's almost a 200 point. I think that's more than 200 actually, yeah. 200 point advantage. It's just finding it ridiculous, but I mean, obviously they are flipping the B cap, but now it's just the fact that they need to get ships taken out fast, which, I mean, the Thunder is very low, the Worcester is very low, so it should be a very easy task here with both the carrier as well as all these ships coming in to shoot them. But overall, it's not looking very good, so yeah, at the moment they go, you know, they've got the B cap now, and yep, Skyrim's just about to start flipping the C cap, meaning, you know, they're going to stop generating points, but the problem is they're going to need to stop them generating in the D cap as well, because obviously, you know, 971 points, that's very bad. So yeah, coming in here for a drop, thankfully Yamato manages to finally get a shot into the Worcester, finishes him off, gets them down to 925 points, increases the friendly points by, I think it's 40. I think it's 40 per cruisers, or it may have changed, I'm not too sure, but either way, yeah, reduce the enemies, gains on the friendlies, which is good, but with only 2 minutes to spare, they have got to do this very fast. Now, Thunderer also incredibly low here, 4,000 HP, so regardless, he's going to be dead whether the Burgoyne manages to, well, actually no, he's got 9 in the way, but I mean, if the Yamato manages to get a shot in, which it looks like he's about to there, okay, I think there's ricocheted, but 2 more shots coming in. Wow, okay, I'm guessing must have got an overpen on the superstructure there. Even so, yeah, here comes Skyrim's coming in with the torpedo bombers here, 177k, just to really get this last kill, so that's going to reduce them by 60 points here and get 60 for the friendlies. Yeah, there we go, taken out, and yeah, minus 60 plus 60, so that has evened it out a bit more. But the problem is now, even though they've got the 3 caps, that's incredibly bad, because, you know, they're about to, I guess, flip points, but yeah, minute left, this is going to be incredibly close, and you probably saw the Burgoyne was on a very low amount of HP just, and he's just been dropped by even more bombers. Yeah. So what was that about the 60 point difference? I mean, you can't see they're now flipping it, but with 50 seconds to go, this is going to be a very, very close game. I mean, obviously Skyrim's coming in to do the best he can with his midway. Thankfully he's got the actual survivability on these, so his squadron's able to survive, get a drop on. If he had more time, that'd be brilliant, but you just saw the Burgoyne just got taken out, and that has just flipped it by another 60 points. That is bad because now they have got a 115 point advantage, and even though for a point in time the friendly team here, they were over, you know, they had 3 ships for every one the enemy had. Like, I'm no expert, but that should almost guarantee a victory, and hence the actual title of this video. It's, you know, too far to lose? Well, apparently not. 11 seconds left on the clock, and unless this guy's not got a, you know, a detonation flag, there is absolutely no way they're going to win this. And yep, 35k, that's it. With 192k there, that was an incredibly good game that was fought there. but still doesn't manage to get it. That is incredibly sad. So we'll just go over to the end result screen now. Right, so here on the end result screen, and yeah, he does have a few sort of wee mods, as you can probably see already, but overall, it gives you an idea of how much he actually managed to do here. Unfortunately, I don't have the detailed report to see how much of individual stats he's got here, but overall, you can see incredibly good 15 torpedo hits, 40 bomb hits, as well as 60 rocket hits, as well as spotted the whole enemy team, bunch of fires, bunch of floatings, and overall, just did an incredibly good job there. I mean, he managed to really just take out quite a few of those and just wear them down horribly. And overall, an incredibly good performance. But even with that, he still managed to get a defeat. And I mean, yeah, okay, some of the destroyers he didn't spot, but that still would not have really been the turning point of the game there, I don't think. The fact of the rest of his team all decided, this is a good idea, let's just all stay in this one cap for like half the game here. That's what did it. And honestly, it's just sad to see. I mean, at tier 10, you'd think there'd be a bit more strategy involved. You'd think, okay, we're all in this little cap here. All of us really easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. But it took them so long to actually get out of there, and it's just that is what really lost the game. So, just overall, very sad. But I mean, I guess that was more just a bit of a learning from this video. It's just the fact of if you're in a situation like this and you're part of a lemming where you don't realise it. Let's say you've gone one side, the whole of your team on the other side of the map has come over to your side. Try and be the one that spearheads a push out of that and try and diversify the teams a bit more just to move out, because otherwise you're going to have something like this. So I guess without anything, I mean, overall, thank you for submitting this, by the way. That's an incredibly good game and just generally enjoy to watch it. It's just interesting to see how such a winnable game was lost. But that's really it from me. So, I mean, thank you very much for really sharing it. I hope you enjoyed and hopefully you've probably, maybe learned something from this. But that is it from me. So, thank you very much for watching. If you want to see anything specific in future, just let me know in the comments below. I mean, as well as some of the guys that used to comment before, when it was a few months ago and that, I've not seen you guys for a while. So, I hope you're all doing quite well as well. It's, it's been quite a while since I've heard from a few of you. But, I mean, that's really it for me. So, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next one. Have a good day.